everybody, quick warning, this video contains major spoilers.
First of all, that's not even English, okay?
The Red Skull was last seen in 2011's Captain America, the First Avenger, and he appeared to die when he touched the Tesseract with his gloved hand. But he was actually transported across the universe to the planet Vormir, where he became the keeper of the Soul Stone. In this video, we'll theorize exactly what happened to him in between the events of the First Avenger and Infinity War. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's the best way of keeping up to date with all of Screen Rant's great new videos.
What others see as superstition, you and I know to be a science.
So, just to further elaborate on what we've already seen of the villain known as Johann Schmidt in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he first appeared back in 2011. He was played by Hugo when he was the main villain in Captain America, the First Avenger. In the movie, he was an egomaniacal man who wanted to become a superior being, and he was given an imperfect version of the super soldier serum before Steve Rogers received the perfected one.
I have not come all this way for safety, Doctor.
The serum enhanced his physical attributes to the same level as Rogers, but also disfigured him to the point of being given the name Red Skull. He was shown to have been searching for the Space Stone, the Infinity Stone known as the Tesseract, for quite some time.
It has taken me a long time to find this place.
Early in the movie, he obtained the stone from a church in the town of Tonsberg in German-occupied Norway, and he proceeded to use it to power his weapons, which he intended to use to help himself and Hydra take over the world. Of course, in the movie's climactic battle with Captain America, the Red Skull attempted to hold the Tesseract in his hands, and given he wasn't as powerful as the likes of Thanos or Loki, he was unable to do so. The Infinity Stone appeared to destroy him, but it actually cast him out and sent him shooting across the cosmos to Vormir, a remote and barren planet. His location was revealed in the Avengers Infinity War, where the part was recast and played by The Walking Dead's Ross Marquand. Fans actually started to wonder about the location of Red Skull a long time ago, but it became somewhat more apparent that he wasn't dead in the Infinity War Prelude comic, a comic that reenacted his supposed death, but showed Red Skull's silhouette inside an energy beam shooting across space, complete with a snazzy swoosh sound effect. On Vormir, the Red Skull had become the keeper of the Soul Stone, a highly responsible but very lonely job that was reminiscent of a number of other characters' roles in fiction, such as the Old Crusader in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade,
You chose poorly.
the Keeper of the Name in the Buffyverse, and the Keeper from Aeon Flux. And it was the Nazi villain who explained to Thanos exactly what he had to do to obtain it. Dressed in ragged black robes, he told the Mad Titan that he had to sacrifice somebody he loved, a soul for a soul, to get his hands on the orange item, which prompted the big purple guy to throw his favorite daughter Gamora to her death. But what exactly has happened to the Red Skull since the 1940s? That's what we're here to theorize.
Come on, boys! Bring in the piñata! We'll party like it's 1942!
One theory is that it was Odin himself who made the judgment that Red Skull wasn't fit to wield the Tesseract in his hands. The burst of energy that sent him flying across the cosmos was extremely reminiscent of the Bifrost energy that transports Thor to wherever he wants to go in the MCU. So could Odin have enchanted the Space Stone, in the same way he did with Mjolnir, to only allow those who are worthy to wield it? Red Skull himself pointed out the fact that it used to belong to the Allfather, so it's certainly a distinct possibility.
Jewel of Odin's treasure room.
On a similar note, could it be that the Infinity Stone itself deemed the Red Skull unfit to wield it? Perhaps the stones possess a sentience and wisdom that allows them to reject certain would-be wielders, which would also further explain why he couldn't possess the Soul Stone, even though he'd spent 70 years in its company on Vormir. The fact that the Mind Stone appeared to warn Vision of Thanos' impending arrival on Earth would certainly suggest that proposed sentience is indeed a thing, as would the fact that the Time Stone informed Doctor Strange of more than 14 million possible futures. Maybe the Infinity Stones even allowed Thanos to snap his fingers, knowing that the right heroes would survive in the resulting timeline in order to avenge him and/or reverse time to undo his actions. There's also a theory that handling the Tesseract has caused the Red Skull to change physically over the years. For one thing, he doesn't seem to have aged, and he should be around 120 years old by now.
Today is my 111th birthday!
Granted, the super soldier serum, faulty or not, should have prolonged his life somewhat, but there's never really been any implication that it makes people immortal. So has it cursed him with eternal life? Will it allow him to age now that he's no longer required to guard the Soul Stone? That's something we'll only know for sure going forward in the franchise, but it's certainly an intriguing thought. Countless fans also noted the similarities between the Red Skull's wraith-like physical appearance in Infinity War and the physical appearance of Mistress Death in Marvel's comic books. This was undoubtedly intentional on the filmmaker's part, and there are 3 ways of looking at why that was the case. 1. It could have simply been a fun Easter egg for eagle-eyed fans to spot. 2. It could have been because the whole scene exists to make us examine Thanos' motives and his moral character, given that winning Mistress Death's affections aren't his goal in this universe. Or 3. It could be that Red Skull has actually become the MCU's version of Death, which throws back to the earlier idea that he'd been physically altered over the last 7 decades. Let's first look at the fact that Thanos had to sacrifice someone he loved in order to acquire the Soul Stone. Gamora laughed at the idea, but it was soon revealed that he did in fact love her, which made viewers a little more sympathetic about his plight, and made them wonder if what he was doing really was for the good of the universe. And the fact that Red Skull doesn't love anybody, which was one of the main reasons he couldn't possess the Soul Stone and was chosen to watch over it instead, makes us compare Thanos to him. Red Skull essentially acted as a foil, showing Thanos as his opposite, which made the viewers look at the prune-chinned brute in a more positive light. The scene also triggered potential comparisons to the likes of Loki and Ultron. In the early scenes of Infinity War, Loki wasn't prepared to sacrifice a member of his family, but Thanos had no such internal conflict. Ultron, meanwhile, wished to create more life in his image and wipe out everyone else, which is in direct conflict with Thanos' motives of thinning the population of the universe to ultimately save the rest of it. That third idea about Red Skull potentially being the MCU's version of Death is certainly the most interesting, however. Maybe in the MCU, Death is a role that gets passed from one character to another when the previous one, well, dies? Wait, can Death actually die? Is that a thing? Can Death die? Anyway, if that's the case, when Red Skull grabbed the Tesseract all those years ago, maybe the previous Death had just perished, and the Tesseract decided he was the best guy to fill Death's shoes. It's a particularly interesting theory, given that Death was one of the cosmic beings who originally created the Infinity Stones in the MCU, along with Entropy, Infinity, and Eternity. It makes sense that those characters would imbue the stones with the ability to choose their successors. Another theory suggests that Red Skull may have become the MCU's version of the Unseen. In the comics, the Unseen was a role given to Nick Fury by the Watchers as punishment for the character's many sins. Fury became a chained, silent observer of the Earth, who was unable to interfere in any of the events he bore witness to, something Fury simply couldn't allow himself to do when he was his normal self, making the role a form of torture to the man with the eye patch.
I'm the realest person you're ever gonna meet.
Given that Fury was a cloaked individual as the Unseen, the cloaked Red Skull may have been punished by the Tesseract in the same way in the MCU, being forced to watch on as the universe continued to exist, and as Infinity Stones continued to be acquired by other characters, while he is only allowed to watch on without interfering.
You need to keep both eyes open.
If indeed the Red Skull has become Death or the Unseen, it would be cool to see him using those names in future MCU movies, and indeed wielding the power that comes with his potential new role. And we can't wait to find out if either of those theories turn out to be true.
You see, I was his greatest success.
And that's the end of our video. Did you enjoy it? What exactly do you think has happened to Red Skull since the 1940s in the MCU? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more great videos just like this one. Bye for now.